Gallagher here. If you want to grow your channel quick and easy, subscribe and smash that notification bell, because I share with you all the tips, tricks, and strategies that I use to grow this dead channel from 0 to thousands of subscribers and became a YouTube partner in just a matter of months. And if you want a shout out or you just want to share your channel in a comment below, go ahead. Some of my videos get tens of thousands of views, so I hope it helps you out. What's going on, my people? This is Gallagher, and we're going to cover in this video 3 thumbnail tips to explode your channel. Now, with this thumbnail, I don't typically do this type of thumbnail, but you're welcome. I mean, I'm not gonna apologize for it. I mean, it's an amazing thumbnail. But the point is, and the reason why I did this is, if you clicked on it, it obviously had an impact on you. So thumbnails can make a huge difference and a huge impact on your ability to grow your channel. You know, you can do all the keyword research you want. You can do everything you can to get your video ranked. And even if you get your video ranked, it's still going to show up next to a lot of other videos. So it's important that you make your thumbnail stand out. So we're going to talk about 3 major tips, and let's start right now. So the first tip, first and foremost, you want to make your thumbnails look good and attract attention. And the main colors that attract the eye's attention are red. That's number 1. It's, like the danger color. You've probably heard that numerous times throughout your life. Even if you're young, they probably teach you at school even. But reds are very alarming. They attract attention. Greens as well, fluorescent greens, and they work good together. They almost give you like a Christmassy look. And in a second here, I'll show you how I created this thumbnail and what I use to do that, the different software that I use. But the key is, again, to get your thumbnail noticed. So the first thing we're going to do is just talk about how to kind of set your thumbnail up. I like to use my eCover Maker. That's what we're on right now. When I bought this membership, it was $9 a month, and that's what I paid a day. They have since raised the price per month, but I don't have to pay that. I think I must have been grandfathered in, so it might be like 10, 12, 13 bucks, maybe 14, I'm not sure. But I was fortunate I got in on it early. The advantages are, there is a free version of this. The advantages are, when you are a paid member, it will save your old thumbnails or your old images that you create on here. It unlocks some other features, but it may be worth a try for you just to check out the free version. You can still do plenty with that. I like to use this and one other software. The other software I use is absolutely free, but with this, we'll go ahead and play around with it a little bit. So as you can see, these are actually images. Well, this is a text that I put in here, but I'm gonna delete this out. We'll recreate this so you can get an idea of how I did this. But I just gotta select each one and remove them. It's a little bit of a pain in the neck, but we'll empty this out real quick. All right, I just went ahead and deleted all that, edited out for you. So basically, we're going to start with the nice bright red background to this, and to do that on eCover Maker here, you just go to background, and it's got some stock images, a library, my uploads, and up here you have this bar full of colors, and all I did was selected from this, the rainbow selection type thing, found this nice bright red, and then just clicked on it, and it brought it up just like that. Let's go ahead and go to the first thing that I did. You probably noticed the booty over there on the left. So basically, I lied. We're going to use 3. So this is Snagit. Snagit is free. I love using Snagit. There's lots of awesome features on here. But for the first part of that image, it's just this basic image with the straight border here. And what you're going to do then is, under image, you have all these different edits you can do, and one is kind of the edge. And so what I did was I used this wave edge option because I thought it would work well, the roundness with the roundness, and we can play with kind of the size of that, so it made it fit perfectly. I just got lucky with that. That wasn't really planned. If I scroll down on the image, if it'll let me here, hold on, let's well, I was going to show you that at the bottom. See how it's got these here at the bottom? It's doing the same thing. I didn't want that, so we just click on that and it would undo it. So let me show you what I mean. If I did click on top, see how it made the wave on top, so I don't want to do that. So I just left it over here on the right where I wanted it. And then I don't want any sort of border. It's got this little faint black border. I just want to get rid of that. So let's get rid of that. And then I want the back to be transparent. Also, I don't want a shadow. How do I get rid of the shadow? Where did that go? Oh yeah, right here. I'm just gonna minimize this down to nothing. I'm gonna select OK. So we got the waviness there, but let's make this a little bit bigger so when we put a shadow on it, the shadow will show. And now you see the canvas is white. So in Snagit, you just go up here to canvas, and then we'll hit transparent, and we have to, yeah, do that. And now it's the little checkerboard. That means it's transparent in the background. So we got that taken care of. Now I'm going to take you to another free software that I love using. So we're gonna save this, and then we'll go open this up in the other software. So here we are, we're on Pixlr.com. Again, this is free. Sometimes these ads over here are a pain in the ass, and they will slow this down. We'll see what it does. If that's the case, if you just hit F5 or refresh the screen, it'll reload these ads. And if there's not too much going on over here, like if we have this stagnant ad, if these all three were running at the same time, that's usually when it slows it down. So like I said, if you hit refresh, you might get lucky and get a couple stagnant ads over here, and it won't mess with the speed of this. But basically, we're going to open image from the computer. We'll click on the one we just created, and you can see the transparency is still there. And then with this, all we're going to do is right click on the layer, and then we're going to hit layer style. We're going to hit outer glow, and then you can play with the color, and that's just this basic border right here. I'm just going to black it out. And then if I didn't want to, I could, you know, do this. I could make it blue or green. And then let's just play with it for a second. If I hit OK, and then I could change the size and the harshness. If I change the harshness, it gives it like a very solid line. I can make it large. See what it's doing there. But let's just make it, let's just leave it plain. Let's leave it black. Okay, we'll select OK, and then we'll go back and mess with the size. We'll just bring it up a little bit so you can see the border here. So that's that. Let's go up here to drop shadow. And now it dropped a nice shadow there, but it's a little solid. I like it to be a little bit more realistic. So let's go ahead and, if you make it bigger, make it size larger, it makes it spread out more. It looks more realistic. You can change the distance so it'll look like the image is pulling away from the surface. And then the opacity, I just take that all the way up, make it a little darker. So we got that. It's got a nice lifted look to it with the shadow behind it. So then I'm just going to hit OK, and then I'm going to save it. One thing you want to do when you do save it in here, and we'll do that, is you want to make sure that, see how it says PNG? If it's not PNG, if it's like a JPEG or any of these other ones, it won't save the background as transparent. So if you run into that, you probably just saved it wrong. Sometimes this defaults as a JPEG. So we're going to save this and click OK. You'll hit save. Yeah, I want to replace it. I'll close this out. Now the next thing I like to use this for, not only with shadowing images like this, but we're going to go ahead, and while we're here already, we're going to do the text that I used in that thumbnail. So I'm going to close this out, and now we're going to go create new image. Now this will drive you crazy if you're not careful. Make sure you click transparent here if you don't want it to have a white background, and it's a pain in the neck to try to change it after the fact. So just note that we're going to hit transparent. We're going to click OK. So as you can see, we got a nice transparent background to work with. Over here we got the text tool. We're gonna just drag it onto the canvas. There it goes. And then what did I have? I said something like thumbnail tips, right? To explode, strong word, your channel. I believe I had it centered, so we'll go down here and we'll center this text, and we'll grab this and center it in here as well. And then I'll make it white. So we'll just take it over here so you see it's nice and white now. And we'll just click OK, and it'll lock that in place. Now with this, when you go to put the shadow stuff on there, let's right click on it. The first thing I have to do is rasterize it. I don't even know what that means, but that's what you gotta do. So we'll click on rasterize. And then once it's done rasterizing, I think that's made up, you hit layer style. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to outer glow, and I like to make it black because the contrast looks good against the red. So we'll click OK, so it's nice and dark. Harshness, I always bring that all the way up so it's a nice solid line. And then I like to bring the size up a little bit to really give it contrast, maybe back down a little bit. And then add the drop shadow, and then again I like playing with that. Bring the distance out a little, opacity up, and maybe let's bring the size out a little bit more. It gives it a really nice three-dimensional look. It lifts it right off the page there. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to hit OK. And then we're going to save this. Now be careful when you're doing the, see what it did? It defaulted to JPEG. So we're going to make it sure it's PNG. And then see how it turned to transparent in the background. Now be careful because it says untitled. If I were to save this and the previous one was already saved as untitled, it would overwrite it and then I have to start all over. So don't do that. So we'll just put text in here or something like that. We'll click OK and we'll save it. So it's saved to the desktop. And now let's go back to my eCover creator and finish this out. So basically, let's go here to upload. And of course, I already have the images uploaded, so we're just going to go ahead and click on them, and it's going to drop them right in here. You can resize. I like to hold the shift key when I do this so that it doesn't mess up the aspect of it. It'll, you know, if you don't, it'll kind of distort the image. So just bear that in mind, and then we'll just kind of maneuver it where we want. Oh, that's fantastic. Let's go back over here and open this up, upload, and we'll bring in our text, and then we'll go ahead and minimize it a little bit. Oh, and then see how it's distorting it. What I mean, I didn't have the shift key, so you can just go over here and hit undo. Boom, there it goes, right back to where it was. Shift key, we'll minimize this a little bit. And then a couple things I like to do in addition to color. Our eyes, when we're looking at YouTube's homepage or any page on YouTube, everything is horizontal and vertical lines. So they're all, you know, boxy, these straight type shapes. So what's good to do is to stand out a little bit. I like to sometimes angle things like that, so it helps draw the eye. And so then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add that number 3. And all I did here was I just put in a 3. I made it green, and up here we have the color. And we'll just make it green like that. And then I had it really big, so let's just do this. Notice it's in front of the text. We'll address that here in a second. We'll make this sucker as big as we can. Oh, that's beautiful. Let's put it right here. And then I'm going to put it behind. And if we go up here, we have a range, so we'll send that bad boy behind there. Also, we can play with the shadowing on here. So if we go up here to this little letter, it gives you a bunch of options. I like this third one in from the right. There, that's nice. You can play with the offset and the blur and all that stuff. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. I think that's the way I left it in the original thumbnail. And there you have it. So that's how I make a thumbnail. Didn't take very long, but it's definitely worth it. And you know, we still got 2 more tips, by the way, so hang on here. But the other thing I wanted to mention is be careful this bottom corner, because when you post this, you know, you post your video to YouTube, you'll notice that down here is where YouTube puts the time of the video, how long the video is. And if you have something that's kind of cool or that's important to your thumbnail and it gets covered up, it doesn't do you any good. So just be aware of that. You know, I like to keep things sort of away from that corner, and then we can just move the stuff around, and then all you do is download it and it'll save it to your computer. Then you just gotta upload it when you you know, go to make your video. Okay, for the second tip, this is something that you want to do as well, because I just mentioned that certain colors attract the eye, and also that you want to stand out and, you know, angle things and do anything that attracts the eye even more. What you also want to do is research before you even go to create the thumbnail for the videos you're going to be up against. So for instance, you know, a lot of my subscribers, a lot of you guys are gamers, bless your little hearts. I love gamers. And so Fortnite, let's say you're going to do a Fortnite video and you anticipate on ranking it next to, you know, some other Fortnite videos. So what I would do in your case is I would type in Fortnite and do a little research real quick. And so what I see here works out really good, because what do I see? I see a lot of blues, right? Blues and purples, and they all kind of blend in together. So imagine then if you were to do a nice bright red thumbnail, it would definitely stand out in here. So that's one of the things I like to do. And also, again, see what I mean by everything's up and down and horizontal and vertical. And so using just angles, like look at this thumbnail there, how they incorporated that, what I just said, it just stands out a little bit. You know, playing with the text and making things look a little bit more interesting, it certainly can help. Let's move on to the very last tip, and then we'll wrap this up. So for this one, we're going to go into our, well, let's go to our channel first. So go to My Channel, hit Creator Studio, and then after that it opens up, you're going to see up here in the corner, we've got YouTube Studio Beta. So click on that. Now once you're in here, you're going to make a couple more clicks, and I'll show you what I'm here for. So if we go to Analytics, click on that, and then up here, Reach Viewers. Now this right here is what I wanted to show you. This is impressions click-through rate. This is basically telling you the percentage of times your thumbnail, your video is clicked when it shows up against other thumbnails, when it shows up anywhere, in matter of fact, on YouTube. So someone types in something, they click on a video, your video shows up in the suggested results, or they search something and your video shows up in the search results. For every time that happens, this tracks how many times, a percentage wise, that they click on your thumbnail as opposed to anything else on there. So, you know, 8 out of 10 times roughly that my thumbnail, my video shows up on a screen on YouTube, someone's clicking on it, which is pretty good. Let me open this up here real quick. If we go to learn more and we go over here, it's going to let us know what good is really. If we go to scroll on here a little bit, half of all channels and videos on YouTube have impressions. Click-through rate that can range between 2% and 10%. So 10 is pretty optimal. I was at 10 or even 11, I think, at one point, and then I started messing with my thumbnails. So you got to be careful when you do that. I do a lot of thumbnails with my face on there, with my mug, and that helps because that's known to attract attention. People look at those types of thumbnails, so I need to start incorporating that a bit more because it's causing my thumbnails to suffer a little bit, my click-through rate, as it's dropped down to 8.4. So that said, this is a great place for you to come in here and analyze the effectiveness of your thumbnails. If it's, you know, if it's low, if it's like, you know, a 2 or 3, then chances are you really need to work on your thumbnails. If you're already up there 10, 11, whatever, if you're up there nice and high, then, you know, either don't mess with it, you know, leave it alone, or if you do mess with it, keep coming back in here and making sure that whatever you're doing to tweak your thumbnails, that it's either improving it or, you know, make sure it's not degrading this number. And if it is, you know, just take note of that and go back to what you were doing before. So that's the 3. I hope it helps you out. I'm gonna wrap this up and I will see you in the next video.